Hello everyone, this is the first devlog of my game that me and my friends have been working on. I'll start with introducing me and the other two members of Bloodhound Studios. My name is Wither and I do the sprites, music, coding, and the story. Neon works on the sound effects and Aura helps me with the story. I'll put mine in their YouTube channels in the description. Anyways, onto the actual game. So the game that we've been working on is an idea that I've been wanting to make for a year, and I finally got to it. So let me recap everything that I and the others have done so far. But first, let's go back to 2023 when I made the idea. I used to work in the Unity game engine before the controversy came out, because that plays into the story. I wanted an idea that I liked and that other people wanted to play, so I came up with a little game called Battle on Slime Island. The main character is a slime, and the game was supposed to be an action RPG with multiple weapons and upgrades, but the scope of the game got way too big and I simply couldn't handle it for just being me. So I left the game and never touched it again. Just to top it off, Unity had to make an announcement that they would be charging devs for every download, but I'm sure you all have already heard time and time again how Unity messed up, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. So that whole thing really discouraged me from working on the game and touching Unity at all, so I went to alternatives, and I found people talking about a new game engine called Godot. So I downloaded it, watched some tutorials, and didn't touch it for months. So then months go by, and I still think about Battle on Slime Island from time to time, thinking to myself, man, I should really work on the game. So after months of me battling with myself whether or not to work on it, I cave into my own desires, and on July 21st I boot up Godot and finally work on my dream game. Now before anyone says anything, I have had experience in Unity, and I've made multiple prototypes of games that I've abandoned. I even shortly worked on a game in Love 2D, which is a framework for those who don't know. So it's not like I don't have an experience when it comes to game development. But what I don't have experience in is Godot, so I'm forced to learn it while I make the game, which is totally not a bad idea, and I definitely won't be forced to rewrite multiple lines of code over and over again. But that's a job that future me will handle. So I made a Godot project and instantly started coding a movement system. I don't have footage of it, so enjoy a recreation of me coding the movement. After the movement was all figured out, I then worked on chests that give you coins, and it definitely didn't take me a week to make. So then I drew a tile map and made a level until I realized one crucial thing. And that thing was, I didn't know where I wanted to take the game. So then I made a pretty basic story for the game, which was, 100 years ago 3 slimes called the magic slimes of the land cast out the corruption invading the island. Then 100 years later you have a slime who goes to a museum to learn more about the great battle on Slime Island, until he finds a black figure casting a spell to bring back the corruption. You then run, meet a gun which is possessed by one of the magic slimes of the land. He then explains that the gun he's trapped in is the gun of life and that it has the power to bring down the corruption. He then teleports you to the old base of the magic slimes of the land, and that's all I had, but I still didn't have a genre for the game. So one night I was in a call with my friends and I was showing off progress of my game. They then asked me, so what's the game about? And then I said, oh, it's a Souls-like game, because I didn't have an idea for the game. So I was now stuck with it being a Souls-like game, which I'm not mad about. I'm actually quite happy because I love Elden Ring and I know the craft treasure. So the game was practically begging to be a Souls-like. So I then continued working on the game and added things like the life gun, an enemy, dialogue with dialogic because I also want to have a prominent story in it, a main menu, UI, started with the tutorial, temporary sound effects, health bar, settings menu with a full screen toggle, finished the tutorial, made the UI look better, added pausing with settings in it, made it so you can save and load the game, which, by the way, made bug fixing so much easier. Added doors to the boss entrance and at the end of the tutorial. Finally added ammo, started on the boss fight, gave enemies proper AI, gave the boss some AI with attacks, added a flash system, redid the UI a bit, added sound effects made by Neon, added a music and SFX slider, finished the entirety of level 1, and now that brings us to today, where I have some banger music that I made still waiting to be used, and that's the perfect segue into me showing off some of my music. So here's some of it, and I should also make clear that I'm not a beginner to making music, and I've been making music for projects for a year now. Anyways, here's my music. I hope the music is good and pleasant to your ears. Anyways, as I was saying, there are some bugs and some of the art is unfinished, but I'm currently hosting playtests of the game. So I'll put my Discord on screen and in the description. So if the game looks fun enough and you want to play it, please message me and I'll be happy to give you the demo. I mean, if you can even call it that. Also, I'll have a video talking about the story in more detail, and it will contain some quote-unquote spoilers, so if you want to be surprised about the story when the game comes out, I recommend skipping it. Well, that's all I have to show, so I'll see you all in the next devlog.